Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin and this is Rideshare Buddy UK, and it's a brand new year, and many of you out there may be thinking, I need to change my job. I want to get a bit more freedom, want to get a bit more flexibility, and Uber is going to give me that dream job of me being able to work when I want and earning lots of money. Is it as easy as that? The answer is no, and I really want you to start thinking about what you could put at risk if you do decide to join Uber or any rideshare platform. Uber is great if you can make it work. There's definitely freedom, definitely flexibility, and provided you have additional income, you can really make it work to give you a good work-life balance. But as a standalone job, it's tough, and we'll go through some other things as to why that is the case. But you're saying, yeah, but Uber's saying you can earn £25, £30 an hour. I only need to work 20 hours a week and I've covered all my bills and I've done all my work. Well, that's not strictly true. Technically, Uber might be correct in saying drivers are earning £30 an hour, but in reality, it's nowhere near that, because Uber uses the aspect of active time. So active time means when you accept a job to when you finish a job. So it's a little bit like being paid when you're working in a shop, only when customers walk into the shop, and as soon as they walk out of the shop, you no longer get paid. So your shift time is totally different to your online time, and shift time is made up of about 45% active time and 55% non-active time, and that means no pay. So if you need to have 20 hours of active time, it means your working week could be about 50 hours a week to get the money that you require if you want that £600. So not quite as easy and as simple as you do. And if you work it out, a lot of drivers, the other thing is that £30 an hour is before all your expenses. Now your expenses will work out about 40%. That's your car, your fuel, insurance and general running costs. So that £30 an hour is down to about £20 an hour? A bit less? What's 40%? 3, 12, 20, £18 an hour is what you're going to be having profit. And as you're only working about 45%, you're actually earning about £9 an hour. And that time includes your holiday pay, so you've got to take holiday pay out of that as well. But we'll look at that as we go through exactly what it means if you give up a full-time job and work for Uber. So you're currently in a full-time job, but you want a little bit of flexibility in the hours that you work and when you work and how often you work. And you're thinking, well, Uber's going to be the way. Well, let's look at this. If you work as an employee, you get your minimum wage, minimum. Most will earn more than minimum wage. You'll get proper holiday pay, paid when you go on holiday. You get sick pay, mainly from day one. Most companies will pay you from day one for 3 days, and then you go into statutory sick pay. You get none of that with Uber. With Uber, you'll get a fraction, about 12% of the fare that you take will be holiday pay for you, so you got to set aside your holiday pay. You get no sick pay. You do, in insurance, Uber offers you insurance for that, which is their pay. But you have to be off sick for 7 days. Then you have to get a doctor's notice, and then you only get a fraction of what you're earning. So nothing like what you get with a employed job, where you feel a little bit off, pick up the phone, you have a duvet day, you get paid for it. None of that with Uber. Your holiday pay, as I mentioned, is included, so you've got to set that aside. So That's your holiday pay, your sick pay, and your at least minimum wage. If you do something wrong, you may get suspended, but you'll be suspended on pay, so you'll be paid while the investigation takes place. With Uber, get a complaint, you're off the platform, no money until Uber decides whether you're going to come back on or not. So you got no protection, no workers' rights, no protection about being booted off the platform. So if you're dependent on Uber and a customer makes a false allegation against you, you could be off the platform 4, 5, 6 days, weeks, maybe even months before they let you back on. So no sort of a protection, no union rights. If you get investigated at work, you'll be given an option for a colleague to come with you, be offered the option for disciplinary procedures, to have a solicitor present or a legal advisor. None of that with Uber. They take you off the platform, you're off the platform, and you pretty much lost your earnings. That's something else you've got to look at, is the workers' rights that you have. Also, if you work for one of the big companies, look at the extras that you get as well. Before I started Uber, I worked as a delivery driver for a big supermarket chain, which was part-time. But even as a part-time employee, I was earning £2.50 an hour above the national minimum wage. Back then, holiday pay, sick pay, proper pension contributions. I could increase my pension by 2% if I wanted, and the company would match that increase, so I could really put quite a bit away for my pension. There was an annual bonus, there was annual Christmas bonus, there was staff discount on products. Being a major grocery chain, that meant my day-to-day 10% discount. And then they had the health and wellness scheme, so you could get substantial discounts at gym memberships. They had a tele-doctoring service that you could ring up, so you didn't have to wait for weeks for an appointment with your own doctor. They had a tele-doctoring system, so there was a GP and practitioner nurses. You could ring up and do a video conference, saves all the hassle with the NHS and GP. They also had a Bupa contribution, so if you did go to hospital, you went into a sort of a private room. Although the operation was carried out on the NHS, your hospitality services was private through Bupa. And what else? There was a few other things as well. There was a share membership scheme. You could, as a staff member, you could get discounted shares. All of these are all big contributions towards helping you put away money and protect yourself and have a better quality life. None of which you'd get with Uber. You get nothing with Uber. It's that basic payment, and that payment, after you've taken off your expenses, worked out your hours, and your hourly rate, it's less than minimum wage in most cases. So you really have to think about that. The positive, I will say the positive is, if you can make it work financially, then you do have that freedom to have a day off whenever you want to go. You don't have to ring up. You got nobody looking over your shoulder. You got flexibility. But what sort of flexibility do you have if you have to work 60 or 70 hours a week to make the sort of money that you was earning working 30 or 40 hours a week because of all that dead time? So it's not always the case of having the flexibility and being able to take advantage of the flexibility. If you're working in an office, you might get better flexibility, better benefits and better opportunities if you ask for flexible working and maybe a couple of days working from home. That may be a far better option than working for Uber. Uber is not very good for earning money. It is very good if you've got a second income and you just want to get out and top up that income. It's not a full-time job. When you come for a mortgage, you won't get a mortgage as an Uber driver. You've got much better chance of getting a mortgage if you're an employee. You get lower interest rates as an employee. Self-employed always pay higher interest rates because of the greater risk. Same with loans. A lot of companies will have... that's another thing there was the salary sacrifice scheme for the cycle to work. So you could buy an e-bike with 30% off because you pay the repayments before your tax, so your tax contributes to all that. A lot of companies will have salary sacrifice for things like cars. So that's all sorted. You got your protection, you got your promotion opportunities. There's no promotion opportunity as an Uber driver. You're at the base, at the bottom of the pile, and that's where you'll stay. So think about that as well. Yeah, I think I've covered the health aspect with health and wellness, where we had tele-doctoring service. A lot of companies are now actually offering dental plans, dental cover and insurance cover for employees. It used to be very big in America. Well, it is very big in America, having medical and dental. It's started to come into the UK now because the NHS is so bad. So you'll find even at quite low levels of status in the work, if you're an employer, you will get some sort of medical benefit, whether that's bupa or dental or something like that. And as we're on that aspect, and sick pay, paternity and maternity pay, that's all you get when you're an employee. As an Uber driver, you get none of that. Yeah. Uber does offer one-off payments for paternity and maternity. Those are only a couple of £100, so nothing like the thousands of pounds that you get as an employee. So you need to be a bit careful over that if you're the age where you're going to start a family. Can't bring up a family on an Uber driver pay. No chance of that. So yeah, there's lots of benefits. You really got to look at not just your pay when you're an employee, but all of the extras, like your stocks, your share purchase, your bonuses, your sick opportunities, sick pay and stuff, holiday pays. Yeah, there's so many more extra benefits you get as an employee, which you won't get as an Uber driver. And as I say, the hourly rate of an Uber driver, for most, a lot now, unless you're in a really busy area like London, is less than minimum wage when you take into account that dead time. So, yeah, think about it. If you can make it work, it's a great chance, great opportunity, very flexible. But if you've got commitments, you've really got to think about it. It's not great. This is the other thing. Most jobs will give you annual price increases. With Uber, you get annual price decreases. I've been with Uber for 18 months, and fares in that 18 months paid to drivers, not what riders are paying, but fares paid to drivers, have dropped by 30%. And I've talked to some of the drivers who have been with Uber since the very, very start, and then saying fares have dropped by about 60%. So expect fare drops and income drops in the years coming up ahead. Whereas if you stay as an employee, you'll probably get increases in wages, not decreases in wages. So take care. If you do, like I say, if you can make it work, it's great. If you can't, you could get yourself into a whole lot of trouble. Whatever you do, do not buy a car to do Uber without first testing the waters for at least 6 months. Try and get a fully managed rental of a taxi if you can. That's your best option, probably the most economical option, and it means that if it doesn't work out after 2 or 3 months, hand the car back, walk away, and you haven't been left with a lump of metal that's worthless, which is what will happen if you buy a car. The moment you put a taxi plate on it, you halve the value. The moment you start putting on 40, 50,000 miles a year, you destroy the value. Within 2 years, you've got no value on a car at all. So be very careful. Don't take that plunge in case you don't like it and in case you can't make it pay. But yeah, best of luck if you do go for it. I know there's lots of YouTubers out there who cherry pick their shifts and say just how great these are, and then say, oh, come and join Uber and use my link below. And the reason to do that is because they get £500 bonus. And they probably make more money out of referring drivers than they do actually making money driving for Uber. So take care on that. But that's it. If you are looking at making a change in career in the new year, probably private hire is not the thing to do. Uber is not the company to work for if you have commitments. If you're young and you want to have a life, probably not the best thing because you won't make any money. Even if, like me, you're semi-retired and you get a pension and other income coming in, you've got to accept the fact that you may be earning less than minimum wage, and do you really want to do that? Or do you want to move on and sort of earn a decent wage for what you're worth? But that's it. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it makes you think about whether you want to join or not. Like I say, it's a great job if you enjoy driving. Great job if you want the flexibility, and if you got income to support and subsidise the work that you do with Uber. So till next time, thanks for watching. Take care.